Welcome back to Ozarks Tonight. Well, it's finally the holiday season, and even if people don't meet up with their loved ones for a traditional gathering this year like in years past, many will still be buying gifts as usual. Now, credit cards can be a handy tool this time of year, but you have to know how to use them wisely, or you could be in big trouble as the calendar flips over to 2021. Darlin Mabens from Arvest Bank is joining us on the program tonight. Darlin, thanks for being here as always. So what are some of the best practices for us to manage credit cards wisely this holiday season?
Well, first things first, it's important to know the difference between your credit and your debit cards, which sounds really easy and simple, but it's important, especially for first-time users, that debit really just means that it debits directly from the cash you have on hand. Credit, you can build the debt and pay it off later. This is where it can be challenging for first-time card holders, so it's always important to differentiate which one's your debit card, which one's your credit card, so you don't use the wrong one. Also, whichever card you use, keep track of your transactions. So that includes ATM withdrawals, the $5 charges if you're taking cash out, everything, because it adds up really quick. So this is especially critical if you have a joint checking account and you have two ATM cards on that, or debit cards.
Yeah, like you said, the important thing to know is you can charge what you want on the credit card, but you got to pay it back at some point in time. How much should we be spending on credit cards this year? You know, some cards have, a couple $1,000 limits on them, $5,000, $10,000, but I would assume we want to push the brakes in most cases before that much is spent on those cards.
Absolutely. First thing you do is you have to set your budget. So you need to determine what your budget is going to be. It may be a little late to save big bucks as far as, to have cash on hand. But next year, even if you just save $20 a month until Christmas, you'll end up with $240 for gifts at the end of the year. And that's a lot, especially if you're doing smaller gifts and things for friends. So for now, though, if you're going to need to carry a big balance on your card, you should avoid using that one at all, because you want to be able to pay these back, pay your balances down as quickly as possible. So if you have big purchases, I would just hold off on those. It's best to pay off your balances monthly. And so if that's not going to be the case, then maybe hold off on the extremely big balances.
Yeah, like we always say, it's always a good rule of thumb. If you don't have it, don't spend it. Now, what if you do make one of those large purchases that you might not have the money in your account for, but you spend it on your credit card and you find yourself in debt after Christmas Day?
Okay, well, the best thing always is to pay your monthly balances off in full. If you can't pay off your full amount, then try to pay more than the minimum payment. It's a common misconception that if you carry a high credit balance and you pay it off, or you pay it on time, that improves your credit score, and that's actually false. So your credit score is based off what you owe, not necessarily what you're paying. So you want to pay off more than the minimum payment if you're not able to pay off your balances each month.
For sure. When you look at, when you see credit card commercials on TV or whatnot, they oftentimes offer rewards or incentives for card holders. What should folks know about different incentives that certain credit cards offer?
There are a lot of great incentives out there with credit card companies. So contact your credit card company, see what they're offering for the holidays. Sometimes they do give big rewards out around the holiday season just for those purchases. So if you can carry a large balance and pay it off quickly, it might be better to use your credit card for those big purchases versus using your own cash on hand. So not only are you making your big purchase, but you're also going to get those rewards as well to use later, or for your holiday shopping.
For sure. Now, what if there's a store that you see a good deal at that you want to capitalize on, but the good deal only comes if you open up a store credit card, right? We see this from time to time. Incentives will be offered if you open up a store credit card. Is that ever a good idea to, deviate from your plan to open up a credit card when you're at the store there?
I'm not recommending deviating from a budget ever, because that's when you get into trouble. But if you get into the situation where you're offered a card at a store, make sure you ask those questions and read the fine print. see when those introductory rates are going to expire so you don't catch yourself spending more money than you have and then you're losing those rates sooner than you expected. So always make wise decisions, read the fine print, ask good questions, and you can't go wrong that way.
All right, anything else viewers should know?
Instead of just always spending the big bucks, think about some other things maybe you could do with your family that's going to save you money. So maybe crafts, exchanging craft gifts between kids, or just spending money on the kids in the family and maybe not the whole entire family. And maybe doing Secret Santas, just pulling names to see which relative has who instead, and that'll help with your budget as well. So just think about those things. And as always, there's always lots of information and credit card management information on arvest.com for people who have questions.
All right, Darlene Mabins from Arvest Bank. Darlene, thanks for coming on the show as always.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Ozarks Tonight right after this.